Don't scroll. Christmas Eve, River Point. I'm Ava, standing on my mother Linda's porch with a warm lemon pie and the last of my hope. I open the door. Music, cinnamon, laughter. Brooke half waves. Tyler nods like I'm late to a meeting. Need help with the table? I ask. Linda doesn't blink. This year is immediate family only. 6 plates, Uncle Mark, Aunt Carla. Not me. My name got erased in my own house. I swallow hard. Behind me, I hear Linda whisper, razor soft. She's used to paying for things anyway. That one sentence split me open. If you were me, uninvited, demoted to wallet, what would you do? Comment below. Would you walk or beg for a chair? Hit subscribe if you've ever been the responsible one punished for it. Because here's the twist. I carried them for years, and they still locked the door. Don't blink. Listen, I'm Ava. And the night I learned love can look like an invoice, it was snowing so softly you'd think the sky was apologizing. I was still holding a warm lemon pie on my mother Linda's porch when my name disappeared from the dinner table. Immediate family only, she said. 6 plates shining like a roll call. I failed. Uncle Mark had a seat. Aunt Carla had a seat. My sister Brooke's fiancé Tyler had a seat. Me? I was the late-to-the-meeting coworker in my own childhood home. You want a hook? Here it is. Before I even unbuttoned my coat, I realized I'd been promoted to ATM and demoted from daughter. And yeah, I heard her whisper as I turned away, razor thin. She's used to paying for things anyway. If that landed like a punch for you, imagine what it did to me. I drove home with the pie still hot and my chest going cold. And I did something that didn't look heroic, didn't sound cinematic. I opened my laptop. I stared at numbers I'd never questioned because I told myself family was ballast, not burden. Transfer to mom and dad, $600 monthly. Pause. Brooke's car loan autopay I'd been covering since July. Cancel. Groceries credits and those temporary Venmo lifelines. Off. Amazon Prime, where everyone watched under my name. Remove devices. Netflix. Sign out everywhere. The clicks felt like light switches in an empty house. One by one, darkness settling where I'd been told love should glow. Tell me in the comments, have you ever shut off the faucet on people who only learned to drink, not to say thank you? The next morning, my phone lit up like a slot machine. 32 texts, then more. Answer now. Are you serious? Stop being cheap. Brooke needs your help. We're family. The knock at my door came hard and bossy. I let it pound. I poured coffee. I listened to the storm without opening the door because it hit me. I was the only person in the family respecting a boundary, and somehow I was the villain for it. When I finally cracked the door, Linda and Brooke were there without coats, snow webbing their hair, not cold enough to be reasonable. No hi, no we missed you. Just, why didn't the money go through? And the line that turned my stomach. You have no husband, no kids, and you make good money. It's your responsibility to support the family while Brooke's starting her life. Let me give you the theater of that sentence. The subtext is savage. If I have no husband, I have no real family of my own. If I have no kids, my money is public property. If I'm stable, it's because the universe meant for me to pay. It's not generosity, it's tribute. And when I said, I'm done, not shouting, not shaking, just finished, they cycled through the playbook. Guilt, obligation, holiday manipulation. Don't ruin Christmas. Be the bigger person. You're overreacting. I stayed calm because I wanted to hear it land in the room. I'm choosing a boundary. If you hear it as a fight, that's on you. Their faces said the quiet part out loud. People who love to take from you also love to write the script where refusing them is ugly. Here's the part no one tells you. Choosing yourself doesn't feel triumphant at first. It feels like stepping outside without a coat. My hands shook after they left. I stared at the pie on the counter like it was evidence from a crime scene. And I made a list, not out of spite, but to witness my own life. March, Brooke's rent top-up $400. May, Mom and Dad's utilities, $108. July car payment $620. August groceries $250. September lake house repairs $900. A year of love, itemized like taxes. When you watch this, ask yourself, how much of your peace is buried in someone else's emergency? I didn't announce any of this on a family group chat. No manifesto, no big speech on Facebook with a sunset background. I just stopped. And if you've been the responsible one, you know that word tastes strange in your mouth the first time. Stopped. When they flung the last guilt pebble at my window, I shut the blinds. If this hits home, drop a like so I know I'm not narrating to the void. Share it with the friend who thinks help should be silent and endless. Because here's the shocker. When your generosity is a habit they never acknowledge, turning it off sounds like violence in their ears. But it's not violence. It's oxygen. So I'm asking you, if your name got erased at a table you paid for, would you walk away too? Or would you beg for a folding chair in a corner, like gratitude is a seat you can rent? Comment your answer. I want to hear it. Because that night, my yes to everyone else finally became a full sentence to myself. No. Here's where the snow gets louder. I thought cutting off the cash was the hard part. Turns out, the real earthquake was hearing what happened after I walked out. A few days later, a message from Tyler, Brooke's fiancé, landed in my inbox. No preamble, just, "You should hear this," an audio file. I almost deleted it. Nothing good starts with "you deserve to know." But curiosity is a feral thing. I hit play. Forks, glasses, Bing Crosby. Then the voices I grew up obeying. Uncle Mark. "So how's the martyr doing?" My mother, laughing. "Probably sulking like we ruined her wedding day." Brooke, bright and breezy. "She'll get over it. She always does." Dad, weary. "At least we can have a holiday without one of her lectures." Aunt Carla. "She dresses like she's at an interview, gives gifts like she's being graded." And the one that made the room tilt. Linda, colder than the front step. "She's used to paying. That's her role." Then Tyler's anxious voice. "You know she can probably hear all this through the door, right?" Cut to silence. Someone finally remembered I exist beyond my wallet. I didn't cry. I didn't throw the phone against the wall like TV tells you to do. I sat still and realized their cruelty wasn't a temper. It was a muscle. Practiced, conditioned, effortless. If this is making your chest tight, hit the comments and say, "I hear you," because I need to know you're still with me. I changed every password I owned, removed them from every shared account, deleted them from emergency contacts. It wasn't rage, it was surgery, quiet and necessary. And I would have left it there, a body without new wounds, except the next shock arrived in a manila envelope with receipts that had my name printed like a signature I never signed. Tyler stood at my door, snow-damp and shaky. "Ava, you need to see this." Inside, restaurants, gas, hotel rooms, furniture, a stroller from a boutique I can't afford even with my good money, a credit card I never opened, in my name. Total, just over $8,000. Tyler said the words I hoped I misheard. Brooke opened it, said you'd understand, said I wouldn't press charges because we're family. You ever feel your stomach get so cold it burns? I did. I stared at the stack and heard Brooke's voice in my head, sweet as spun sugar. "You'll forgive me like always." That was the moment the line from "they used me" to "they stole from me" lit up like runway lights. If you feel angry right now, good. Anger is a life sign. Tap like if that sentence flicked something on in you. I called the bank, then a lawyer. I used phrases I never thought would live in my mouth. Identity theft, affidavit, police report. The bank rep sighed like she'd said it too many times. Sibling cases aren't rare. They're just always sad. Sad? Sure, but also illegal. I filed the report, and yeah, the family script kicked in at record speed. Brooke texted, "I'm desperate." I was going to tell you. "You're making it worse." Linda left a voicemail that sliced. "We don't call police on family." Translation, hide our mess, let Ava pay. Here's the twist, maybe the part you need for your own life. Calling it theft didn't make me dramatic, it made me honest. We shove everything into the words help and family until the truth can't breathe. Help is asked, theft is assumed. Help looks you in the eyes. Theft uses your name when you aren't looking. If you're watching this and someone's spending your piece like it's on autopay, drop a comment, turning it off. Say it out loud so the algorithm and your nervous system hear you. Tyler texted again later. She's telling everyone I made you press charges. Of course she is. The villain in their story is whoever refuses to carry the piano. I told him, "You recorded what I lived. Thank you." He looked relieved, like confession had weight, and I'd lifted a corner. The investigation moved faster than my heart. Papers filed, calls logged. By the next week, the account was frozen. You'd think that would bring me calm. Honestly, I shook at night. Not fear, adrenaline. Imagine spending years believing you were the strong one, only to realize you were the soft surface everyone wrote IOUs on. And the kicker? They still wanted me quiet about it. That's the part that stings people into rage. Don't embarrass the family, handle it privately. No, I handled it properly. If you're still here, share this with the friend who keeps bailing out a sibling who calls it borrowing but treats paying back like a myth. Tell me below, what's the line between grace and self-erasure? Because when I finally chose the law over loyalty, it wasn't betrayal. It was self-respect with a case number. You think the story ends with paperwork. I did too. But recovery isn't a credits roll. It's a quiet room you have to learn how to sit in. After the account was closed and my name cleared, my phone finally went still. No dings, no, can you just, no, we're disappointed in you speeches. Silence is suspicious when you grow up in a house where volume equals affection. I kept waiting for the next fire drill that would require my wallet and my apology. It didn't come. Instead, I got a voicemail from my dad. If you're bracing, you're not wrong. He sounded older, softer. You were right, he said, voice catching on the word sweetheart, like it forgot how to live in his mouth. We treated you like a safety net and called it love. Your mom's not ready to admit it. Brooke definitely isn't. But I see it now. I hope someday you'll talk to us again. Not for money, just to talk. I didn't cry, but something melted in my chest like the first drip off a roof when winter gives up. I saved the voicemail. Not to replay, but because truth deserves a drawer. A week before that message, there'd been another knock. Softer, almost polite. Tyler again, snow on his shoulders, a duffel at his feet. I moved out, he said. I can't live in that house. It changes you. He looked wrecked. Not performative, wrecked. And I believed him. Because people who live in air thick with taking start to speak in debts. The proof was in his hands and in his leaving. I didn't forgive the past. I acknowledged the present. There's a difference. Then came the fire. An actual kitchen fire at Linda's house. Smoke stains like fingerprints on the walls. The smell of melted plastic nested in the cabinets. They asked for help before they said, "We're safe." That detail matters. I stood in the doorway with a $50 bill in an envelope, and when Linda opened it, her face did that confused calculus. Is this a joke? What is this supposed to be? She snapped. I said it steady. That's what my seat at the table was worth. If that line makes you angry, let it. Anger isn't cruelty. Anger is clarity with a pulse. Brooke whispered, "You don't have to be like this." Like what? Boundaried? The word cold gets thrown at women who stop being radiators. You called me cold when I stopped paying your heat bill too, I answered. She swallowed. There are no good comebacks when truth is simple. After that, I blocked them. All three. Not a slam. A soft click from the inside. The silence that followed wasn't lonely, it was steady. I started sleeping, cooking, walking without earbuds so I could hear the snow squeak. I noticed the sky being aggressively ordinary, blue over a frozen lake, a delivery truck, a kid on a scooter, two strangers arguing about directions. Life. One night, I washed the lemon pie dish and slid it back onto the shelf, and it felt ceremonial, like washing off the last sticky film of Christmas Eve. When the lawyer called and said, "It's done. Your name's cleared. Thank you for your patience," I exhaled a breath I hadn't realized was on layaway. Then I wrote one last line in the notebook where I'd tallied every rescue I'd performed. The debt is paid, not the bank's debt. The emotional one. The ledger of apologies, explanations, and cash disguised as love. I closed the book and put it away. If you've ever had to write your own ending because no one else would give you one, hit like so I know this lands somewhere real. Recovery didn't mean I didn't miss the fantasy. There's grief in letting go of the version of your family you kept auditioning for. But toxic hope is the most expensive bill of all, and you don't owe it. That's the value I want you to take from this. Self-respect is not loud, but it's stubborn. It keeps coming back to remind you you're not a utility, you're a person. Spring arrived the way it always does in River Point. Slush, mud, sunlight that overpromises. Evan, my boyfriend, asked about a weekend trip, and I could listen without flinching because other people's happiness no longer triggered my emergency response. I changed the locks on my life, digitally and emotionally, and didn't apologize for the new keys. And when the algorithm asks what this video is about, tell it. It's about choosing a boundary and surviving the echo. If any part of this story set your teeth on edge, injustice, gaslighting, weaponized family, comment what hit you the hardest. Share this with someone who's tired of being the responsible one and is ready to be the sovereign one. And subscribe if you want more real talk that doesn't wrap abuse in a bow. Because family can break you, but it can also teach you exactly what not to become. I'm still here. I'm whole. And for the first time, I don't need a chair at their table to feel fed. Here's where I landed. I washed the lemon pie dish, put it back on the shelf, and realized the real cleanup wasn't my kitchen. It was my head. I stopped rehearsing speeches for people who never stayed to listen. I changed the locks on my life and, for once, didn't hand out spare keys. It wasn't triumph. It was a steady quiet that didn't accuse me of being selfish every time I chose myself. So tell me, am I in the wrong? For shutting off the money? For calling theft what it was? For asking love to look like respect instead of receipts? If you've been the responsible one, you know that no can sound like thunder. But here's my lesson. Boundaries aren't punishments, they're instructions. When people ignore them, they're telling you how they plan to love you, conditionally, conveniently, or not at all. I'm done confusing access with affection. If this hit a nerve, drop a comment and tell me the moment you realized your help was hurting you. Hit like so this reaches someone who needs the courage to close a tab on a one-sided story. Share it with the friend who always pays the bill, emotionally and otherwise. And if you want more real talk that doesn't sugarcoat the hard parts, subscribe. I'm still here, I'm still me, and the debt, finally, is paid.